Hi, I'm Todd Henderson. Today I want to show you how easy it is to install the Gator FX, FX3, or FX5 on this 2009 to 17 body style Ram truck. Now, if you have any questions about the product, please click the info button or visit the link in the description. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and installed the bulkhead seal. That goes on the bulkhead as far back away from the cab as possible. Go from one bed cap all the way to the other bed cap. Next, we're going to locate our passenger side rail. Now, here's what your rail looks like. On one end, you're going to have an aluminum tab that's kind of sticking out. It's facing towards the inside of the bed of the truck. That tab is going to go towards the bulkhead. Now, it's going to give you a ledge with a seal on it that's going to hang on top of the bed cap. So we're going to take that rail, let it sit on top of the bed cap, and then slide it all the way up to the bulkhead. Now, if you have a drop-in bed liner, what you'll want to do is make sure that the rail can come up far enough and push up against the bulkhead to where you can still close the tailgate. If you cannot close the tailgate, you want to trace up underneath where the rail hits, move the rail away, and trim away that bed liner material so that rail can go all the way up to the bulkhead and close the tailgate. All right, now while I'm holding the rail in position, I'm going to go ahead and take one of our clamps. I'm going to loosen it up. I'm going to spread it apart. Now, one thing you'll notice is this side of the clamp, the grooves on the clamp will actually match up to the grooves in the rail. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that up into the rail, get it up as high as it will go and still made up to the grooves. We're going to hold it together with our fingers. We're going to tighten it by hand. Then once we got it tightened by hand, we're just going to snug it up just a little bit, just to where it's starting to grab a hold to give some resistance. Now we're going to make sure the rail is pulled all the way up to the bulkhead, and then we're going to take and tap across the top of the rail. That seats the rail to the bed cap. Once that's in place, we're going to go ahead and finish tightening down that clamp. One thing that's very important on that clamp is make sure that those grooves stay mated together. They don't come away from the rail. Otherwise, as you're tightening it down, it will spin loose, probably hit your hand, make you say a bad word. Your front clamp is going to install the exact same way. You want to get to about 6 to 8 inches from the bulkhead. Make sure, again, there's no obstructions underneath your bed cap, and make sure it's mated all the way into the rail. Again, we want to tighten that down just enough to where it's kind of snug. Then we're going to seat that rail and then finish tightening it down. And lastly, our clamp at the tailgate, we're going to do the exact same thing. Loosen it up, slide it into the rail, make sure it's clamped in place where the grooves are mated together properly. Bring it as far back as we can without hitting any kind of obstructions. Again, snug it up, seat the rail, and then tighten it down the rest of the way. Next, we're going to locate the ball stud bracket on the rail, and we're going to attach our prop rod just by snapping it right into the ball stud. We're going to raise it up and then drop it into the bracket that holds it on the rail. All right, for the last step on installing a rail, we need to install the drain tube. Now, the drain tube has to go out your kick out. So just behind this bed rug here, there's an oval kick out. I've already got a hole in the bed rug, so I'm going to run the drain tube through there. Now, if this is a plastic drop-in liner, typically you're going to have a hole in the drop-in liner right where your tie-down is. You could run the drain tube through there. But what we need to do, once we get it installed here, is we're going to go attach it to the drain spout on the rail. And repeat everything we've done on the passenger side, also on the driver's side. Now, before we can install our cover, we need to go ahead and install our clip receivers onto the cover. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out the small panel. You're going to notice you got a couple of holes on each side. What we're going to do is we're going to mount our clip receiver on that. Now, the clip receiver is going to face towards the rest of the cover. What we're going to do is we've got a couple of threaded backers. They're going to go through the back side. Now, once we have those in place, we're going to take our provided screws, go through the holes in the clip receiver, and line those up to the threaded backers. Use a Phillips head screwdriver and get those set in place. We're going to do this on both sides for the clip receivers. All right, now we're going to go ahead and set the cover on top of our rails. When that's in place, we're going to fold our front panel forward. And we're going to move it back and make sure that our rubber seal is right over top of our bulkhead seal. Now we don't want any of the frame to be on top of the bulkhead, just the seal itself. All right, now we're going to look into our kit and find our 2 elevator bolt assemblies. This is one for each side where we have the hole in the top. What we're going to do is take the star knob off of the assembly. Set that to the side along with 1 rubber washer, flat washer, and lock washer. Now we're going to keep 1 rubber washer with the elevator bolt itself. That goes down through the cover, and that actually goes through the cover and then through the aluminum tab on the rail. And that's what holds the cover to the rail. I'm going to do that on both sides. Now we're going to go ahead and attach our elevator bolt hardware to the elevator bolt. We're going to do rubber washer, flat washer, and lock washer. It slides over top of the elevator bolt, and then we thread our star knob in place. We're not going to tighten it this time. We just want it lined up. Do that on both sides. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fold each panel down one at a time, drop them into the rails, and as we're folding those panels down, we're going to double check them and make sure they're centered. Do slight adjustments as we're folding each one back. Once we get it to the tailgate, we're going to go ahead and pop it open, close our tailgate, and make sure it closes properly against the tailgate. Now that we know everything's nice and square and straight, we're going to go ahead and open the tailgate, and then very slowly open the cover, making sure we don't shift anything around. Now that everything's lined up, we're going to go ahead and tighten down the star knobs on each side. Don't need to over tighten them, just get them nice and snug. Next, we're going to go ahead and install our bump stops. These protect our cab from the cover. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold the cover forward to see where the cover would be contacting the truck, and we're going to attach the bump stops in those locations. So the way we do that, peel away the 3M tape, locate where it's going to hit, and we're actually going to attach that to the top of the frame. Now, this is on the FX3 and the FX cover. If you have an FX5, this is a rubber frame, and so you want to attach it to the very bottom of that frame, just below the frame on the aluminum panel. Now, one thing to always remember is before you close the cover, you need to first close the tailgate. Then you can close the cover on top of the tailgate. If you close the tailgate after the cover is already closed, you run the risk of damaging the rear seal. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, click on the info button or visit the link in the description.